Martin Luther King Jr. Day Holiday. Let's celebrate. The annual King Holiday observance is a time that we celebrate, commemorate, and honor the life, legacy, and impact of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The King Center leads the charge to provide education and training in Nonviolence 365, while serving as the vital living memorial of Dr. Martin Luther King. Junior global citizens will have unique opportunities to learn and unite in celebration of Dr. King's groundbreaking work and Mrs. Coretta Scott King's powerful continuation and formal institutionalization of that work through a variety of engaging events hosted by the King Center leading up to the King Holiday on January 20th, 2025. Our strategic theme for 2025 is Mission Possible, protecting freedom, justice, and democracy in the spirit of Nonviolence 365. This theme defines the 2025 King Holiday observance events and programming while serving as a compass for all the work we will do this upcoming calendar year and beyond. The pioneering work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. demonstrated that Kingian nonviolence, Nonviolence 365 trademark, is the sustainable solution to injustice and violence in our world, ultimately leading to the creation of the beloved community where injustice ceases and love prevails. The King Center welcomes and invites you to join this movement for a new future as we strive to cultivate a beloved community mindset and ultimately transform unjust systems. How did Martin Luther King Jr. Day become a holiday? Former U.S. Representative John Conyers, D. Meek, introduced legislation to create a federal holiday honoring King on April 8, 1968, just 4 days after the civil rights leader's assassination. Over the next decade, support for the holiday would swell across the country, and several states, including Illinois, Massachusetts, and Connecticut, would enact statewide holidays honoring King. Conyers spent years reintroducing the federal legislation with support from lawmakers in the Congressional Black Caucus. In 1979, on what would have been King's 50th birthday, the bill came up in the House, but it failed by 5 votes. The fight to create the holiday didn't stop at the narrow vote. Coretta Scott King and others campaigned for the holiday and rallied the public. King would testify before Congress multiple times. She and singer Stevie Wonder, who released his song Happy Birthday in support of enacting the holiday, delivered a petition in favor of the holiday with over 6 million signatures in 1982. The House ultimately approved the holiday in 1983, and though the push to create the commemoration faced some opposition in the Senate, former President Ronald Reagan signed it into law later that year. When was Martin Luther King Jr. Day first celebrated? The first national holiday honoring King was celebrated in 1986, but it took longer than that for states across the country to adopt the holiday, including fights in Arizona, South Carolina, and elsewhere, according to the National Constitution Center. The holiday has been recognized in each state since 2000. When did Martin Luther King Jr. Day become a holiday in Texas? Texas officially recognized MLK Day in 1991. Today, it remains the only federal holiday designated as a national day of service, encouraging all Americans to volunteer and contribute to their communities. Why is Martin Luther King Jr. Day in January? The holiday recognizes King's birthday, January 15th, but Martin Luther King Jr. Day is celebrated on the third Monday in January due to the Uniform Monday Holiday Act, which former President Lyndon B. Johnson signed into law in 1968. It originally designated 3 federal holidays: Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and former President George Washington's birthday to be marked on Mondays. So even though the anniversary of King's birthday falls on a Sunday, it's commemorated on Monday like the other holidays under the Uniform Monday Holiday Act. What role did music play in getting Martin Luther King Jr. Day to become a holiday? According to the National Constitution Center, in 1981, Stevie Wonder released Happy Birthday to You, making a powerful political and social statement that helped alter U.S. history. The musical genius wrote the song to urge and shame lawmakers and voters to recognize Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with a national holiday. Until then, there wasn't a clear majority of lawmakers ready to support the vote needed to establish the holiday.